So today God is saying sometimes he blesses us just to test us, right? Just to see how we will respond. That's why sometimes we see people that we think maybe don't deserve a certain blessing, receive a blessing, and we just are like, what? Why? Like, we just saw this person last month doing this, but now this is happening to them this month or whatnot. God's saying that, well, for one, of course, he gets to bless who he wants to bless. It doesn't matter our human opinion on it. It's up to him. However, he's also saying that sometimes he does a blessing to test a person. So he blesses everybody, in their own ways. That's why you'll see people who maybe don't follow the Lord, but they still have a home, right? Well, that's a blessing from God. Or you know of people that commit crimes or do underhanded, unlawful things, but they're not caught. They're not in jail. Well, that's a blessing from the Lord. Or you see somebody in a marriage where, say maybe they've been running around behind their back, or treating their spouse badly, but yet they're still married and the spouse has no clue and takes care of them. That's a blessing from the Lord, right? I'm just listing off some examples off the top of my head where, say we're talking about unbelievers or non-followers of God, people that maybe aren't exactly Christian, but yet we still see them thriving. They still have their job, maybe they're getting raises and promotions at that job. We're seeing them financially successful, et cetera, et cetera. Well, God is saying that he puts the blessings on everybody. So whether you follow him or not, you're blessed. And even someone who is a follower and a believer in him, they're blessed as well. They have their home, they have their family, they have their spouse, whatever. So my point is, whether you're a follower or not, or a believer or not, or you follow God or not, or you do good or bad, evil or righteous, you will still be blessed, because that's how good the Lord is, right? However, he's also saying that sometimes he blesses people just to test them, followers and unfollowers, believers and non-believers, to test them, right? So say you're a believer and he blesses you and you do what you should, and you're like, oh, thank you, God, for my blessing, and you're so grateful and gracious to the Lord, as you should be, then you passed your test. But if he blesses the non-believer with something and the non-believer's like, yeah, I really worked for this, I really earned it, we may potentially see that blessing be taken away eventually, right? And then we may not understand why, but it could very well be because, not necessarily because they're not a believer, because that does play a factor, but both parties got tested. The believer got blessed, they got tested, they passed their test. The non-believer got blessed, they got tested, they didn't pass their test. They put it all upon themselves that they must have done it. They take all the glory and recognition for that, not realizing that it came from God, because, well, they're not a believer, and they failed the test. So yeah, he just wanted me to say that, for whoever may come across that, that's how people we see are blessed, is that God's just good to everybody, in his own ways. And he blesses the believers and the non-believers, but a lot of times that blessing comes with a test, just to see how you'll respond.